So I'm going to open up IE, and that's how I gain access to the DRAC. And I'm going to make sure that pop-up blocker is turned off, because that's going to get in my way. And I'm going to gain access to the DRAC, continue to the site, and I'm going to log into the DRAC, like so. I'm going to download the client so that I can view the updates, like so. I'm going to resume and wait until it has me installing the ActiveX control. Install this. Click OK and connect again. All right, good. I'm going to go over to power management, and I'm going to power on this server, like so. Open up the DRAC and watch the boot start. So this is going to start up the Dell server. I've got a Dell PowerEdge 1950 server that's got 4 gigs of RAM, and this particular box has 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm going to configure xenserver on it. Now here's the thing. I have a USB drive in this machine, and the USB drive has the xenserver 6.1 installation media on it. So I'm going to be installing xenserver using the USB drive that has been installed on the server. And that's why I pressed F11 so that it would enter the boot menu and let me select the USB drive. As you can see right here, this has got 8 gigs of RAM, and it's a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core processor. I've got dual quad-core machine, giving me 8 logical processors on this box. So here is the USB drive. Here's Citrix xenserver installation. I'm just going to press Enter to begin the installation process. And I'm going to wait for the installation to load. It takes a couple of seconds, or a couple of minutes if you will. I'm going to wait for the installation to load, and it's going to ask me a few questions, a few key questions. So here I am after the installation has begun for Citrix xenserver. I'm going to say that I'm utilizing a QWERTY US keyboard. Said OK to that. I'm going to load the device driver for my drive. I'm going to accept the license agreement, the end user license agreement. And I said hardware virtualization support. I'm going to continue with the installation. And it says that, it's not present or it's disabled in the BIOS. You notice this? Hardware virtualization. So I have to enable this. And just say that xenserver is going to have limited functionality. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my DRAC, and I'm going to restart. I'm going to reset this machine, like so, and I'm going to go to the BIOS, and I'm going to enable VT, or I'm going to enable hardware virtualization on this thing. And go back here. Here it is restarting. I got to enable virtualization technology on the BIOS, and for that I need to go into Setup. And on the top right-hand corner, you will see I'm going to be entering Setup. So let's do that. I'm going to go in, I'm going to enter Setup, I'm going to enable hardware virtualization, I'm going to restart and go through the installation again, or begin the installation process again. Now, while that's going on, I'm going to go to the domain controller, and I'm going to go to the DNS server, and I'm going to add this particular xenserver that I'm going to be adding and its host name into my DNS. So here's a remote desktop into the domain controller, and I'm going to open up administrative tools and DNS. And in DNS, I'm going to create a reverse lookup zone for 1. And this is going to be like so. Finish that. And I'm going to go to forward lookup zone in class, and I'm going to add xenserver 01. I'm going to actually say there's the BIOS. Come back to that. Processor information, 64-bit. See that right here, virtualization technology says disabled. Oops. And I need to enable it. You notice that? I just enabled virtualization technology or VT. So once I do that, I press enter, make sure that it did get enabled. Yep. Press enter. Everything else is fine. I'm going to save changes and exit, and it will restart. And now that I've got VT or virtualization technology enabled on the BIOS, that error or that issue or that prompt or that message that came up inside of xenserver installation process will no longer come up because it will recognize that I have VT or virtualization technology enabled.